and the 4-year-old and 5-year-old and 14-year-olds. 8% of all child molestation cases that take place is between their own father, not stepfathers, and not relation, but own father. 8%. In America, it has become endemic, like an epidemic. But now we have to deal with this topic because we want to turn the tables. This is a kind of inoculation I'm giving you. This is not a pleasant topic to discuss, more especially with my sisters and my daughters here. It's not pleasant. Wallah, it's not pleasant. But it has to be done. Somebody has to dirty his hand. Somebody has to dirty his mouth. It's not pleasant. I'd rather talk about the Quran, about this, that, about this beautiful comparative religion, you know. It says, what is Tawrat? What is Zabur? What is Injil? What is Furqan? Oh, beautiful. I love to talk that. But now, this is an inoculation I'm giving you. An inoculation? If you are going overseas, you go for a vaccination and you go for cholera. Very painful. Cholera is very painful. I don't know whether any of you have experienced it. You know, they give you a jab and it's quite painful. After a couple of days, you know, the thing gets swollen and you might develop even a fever. What is an inoculation? They love to hurt you. They cost you about three rands or something, or I don't know. They charge you money. Previously, they used to do it for nothing. Now they charge you 3 rands and they give you an injection and give you a sore arm. Why? They want to introduce into your system an agent of a disease, cholera, that your body, in a little amount, minute amount, so that your body might get geared up into giving battle to that bacteria, that agent. And once it has overcome, because this is a minute quantity, your body has developed those fighting mechanisms inside that when actually the cholera germs invade your body, the body is already geared to do boxing to those germs and conquer it. That's the secret of an inoculation, the purpose behind an inoculation. Now I'm giving an inoculation. It's also painful. But this is now to immunize you against the Christian missionary. So we're dealing with the harshest, the strongest of topics. There's so much. This little booklet here can keep you busy for months. This is an index of how you're going to use this with the Bible. But now, the first item between father and daughters. Imran, read it. Read it loud, let everybody hear. A.
That night both the daughters of Lot, gave him their father Lot wine to drink, and the older daughter had intercourse with him. The next day, the older daughter said to her sister, I slept with him last night. Now let's get him drunk again tonight, and you sleep with him. Then each of us will have a child by our father. So that night, they got him drunk, and the younger daughter had intercourse with him. In this way, both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father.
Now this is what you're reading is the Holy Bible. This is the Holy Bible of the Jews and the Christians. I'm asking what's holy about that? Daughters seducing the father, getting him drunk, and having sex with the father, and thus becoming pregnant, and both the daughters of Lot were a child by the father. What's holy about that? So we are asking, what is the moral? To the Christian, if he read it, he said, what is the moral of this story? What is the lesson to be learned? See, every tale we tell our children, fables, fairy tales. We tell our children anecdotes about the fox and the grapes, the wolf and the lamb, the dog and the shadow. You heard all these. As children, we hear this. You know, no fox ever jumped for grapes. Do you know that? The fox don't jump for grapes. But it's just a story, invented. We said the fox was jumping, trying to get at the grapes and can't reach it, tried again and again, and is fed up, it can't reach the grapes, so he says sour grapes. So we are trying to tell our children, don't be like that, greedy fox. When you can't get a thing, he says sour grapes. Don't be like that. The wolf and the lamb, or the dog and his shadow. A dog finds a bone. With the bone in his mouth, he's crossing a wooden bridge. And he sees the reflection in the water. He's thinking there's another dog with a bone in his mouth. He's greedy for the other dog's bone. So he's boo! So he lost what he had. Don't you be like that, my child. What Allah has given you, appreciate it. Don't be greedy for the other dog's bones. It's a moral, it's a lesson to be learned. Every story that you tell, there is a moral behind it. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Dr. Vernon Jones, an American psychologist of great repute, he carried out experiments on groups of school children to whom certain stories were being read. To a standard 2 group, for example, you tell them about St. George. This St. George, this young boy, St. George, he sees a dragon. And he goes and finds a sword and he goes and slays the dragon. He kills it. The same St. George, he sees a python and he's looking for something to confront it with. And he couldn't find anything, so he picks up a stone and smashes on the head and kills it. Another group of also standard 2 children, you tell them the same St. George, but this St. George saw a dragon and he got so terrified and he scooted to his mother and he cried in her lap. The same St. George, he saw the snake and how he climbed up the tree and he started howling like a wolf. In actual life, these children, when they really are confronted with problems, this is how their minds will work. That group that was told, confrontation, is going to start thinking, how am I going to overcome this? The other one is how to run to my mother. In actual life, is that these stories made certain slight but permanent changes in character, even in the narrow classroom situation, in little things. They behave like that. You keep on telling your child, there's a ghost out there, jinn. Your child will be too terrified to go out in the evening to go and buy some cold drink for you. There's something there. The other children, you don't talk about these things. They have always right, go and bring a bottle of cold drinks. So just rush it along and brings it. The other one is jinn hoga, bhoot hoga. It depends upon how you program your children. So you program your children with this. It must have certain slight but permanent changes in character. And we can see it's happening. It's happening, practical experience. Researchers are showing us that it's happening wholesale. So now, this, we have given you a Bible. You open up the first book of the Bible, Genesis, first book of the Bible, Genesis. But I don't want you to start fumbling for, look, try and find pages 14 and 15. Pages 14 and 15, just at the very beginning. Pages 14 and 15, at the very beginning. Pages 14 and 15. Can't be very far. Pages 14 and 15. 14 and 15. Found them? Everybody? 14, 15. Right now, with the red pens that are given to you. Red pens, you'll find inside the tube. Inside the box, yeah. Red pen. Take them out. And right across, between page 14 and 15, right across. Have a look at this. Incest between father and daughters. Oh, right. Incest between father and daughters. Just write across and underline it. Incest. Don't be afraid to mutilate that book. This is yours. The book is yours for taking away. So don't spare the book. It's my book, I have given it to you. Don't spare the book. Don't feel pity for the book. Right across. Incest between father and daughters. Having done that, I said, you see this booklet on page 13, you write there about what the young man read, about Lot and his 2 daughters, page 13, what he read. Right on the side,